Welcome to this how-to video. My name is Kelly Campbell and I look after Protecht ERM Online Help. In this video series, we're going through the process of creating a register step by step. In this fifth video in the series, we're going to define states and transitions so we can move register entries through different stages such as draft, under investigation and closed. Here's a breakdown of what this video will cover. We'll take a look at how states and transitions work, then how to enable the states feature in your register, and how to review the default states and transitions. Then we'll look at how to create custom states and transitions to suit your needs and assign permissions to make the transitions available to users. Finally, we'll have a look at the working transition buttons in an entry form. First, let's take a look at how states and transitions work. Use them to apply a status to each entry in a register. The state is the status, and the transition is the movement between one status and another. Access to transitions is controlled by permissions, so the right people can use them. You can also control their availability through conditional rules. Use the default states and transitions or define your own. You can even create templates containing different sets of states and transitions to use in multiple registers. To use states and transitions, they need to be enabled in the register. Open the register in Register Designer . And then scroll down on the General tab and make sure the Enable States checkbox is selected. Then, if you've changed anything, save the register. Once Enable States is selected and saved, you can see the default states and transitions. Open the States tab, which shows the states on the left and the transitions on the right of the screen. Review these states and transitions to see if they meet your requirements. If they don't, go on to create your own custom states and transitions. In the States section of the screen, click the Add button to add a state. You'll see a blank line appear at the bottom of the list of states. Click on this line and enter the state name. Repeat that process to add more states. Select any states that you don't need and click the Delete button to remove them. Once you have a complete list of states, select the initial and final states. There must be one initial state and final states are optional, so you can have none, one or many final states. All entries will begin in the initial state, and once they reach a final state, they are no longer editable and are not included in overdue processing unless you select the checkbox here for overdue processing on this screen. Now in the Transitions section, click Add to create a new transition. Select the state this transition is starting from and then enter a transition name. This is what will appear on the button in the entry form. Next, select the state that this transition is moving the entry to. Repeat that process to add more transitions. Finally, check that the logic is correct and the transitions are ordered properly. If you need to move any transitions, use the Move buttons to place them in the correct position, making sure that the order number is correct. Now you need to assign your transition permissions, which we can do entirely on the States tab. Select the transition and then click the three dots in the Roles field. Select the roles that need to perform this transition and then click OK. Repeat that process for all of your transitions. You don't have to go into the role in the Roles and Permissions screen to add the transitions, although it is possible to assign the transition permission there as well. You can also add a message to appear in a pop-up when a user clicks the transition button. And then finally save the register. And now we can see the working transition buttons in the entry form. So I'm opening up one of my entries in the Safety Incident Register, and you can see the current status is under Management Review, and I can either close or investigate this entry. So clicking the Investigate button moves the entry to Under Investigation, from which I can close the entry. That's it for states and transitions. In the next video, we're going to learn about conditional rules, starting off with some basic concepts that will help you understand how they work.